This team right now is going to beat everybody out.
But the Bills look awesome. The Bills look like a wagon. Look like they're having a great time. And
Well, I'm not saying they're not making the Super Bowl.
They're going to win it.
Okay. Yes.
The most successful quarterbacks are the ones that take charge when they make believe they don't hear what the guy on the sideline saying, and they end up making good moves and gaining ground and making them win. Think about poor Jim. I mean, he went there 4 times to the Super Bowl with the Buffalo Bills and didn't get a ring because of the damn kicker. They don't need the kicker now. This quarterback has got this whole team so boiled up. Then they don't. If they have to run it in, somebody will end up kicking in their places. Jim Kelly was in the 80s, and he was a very laid-back man. This kid, Allen, ain't no laid-back. He don't even talk. He's just a machine.
With the lights out, yes, I
This kid, Allen, ain't no laid-back. He don't even talk. He's just a machine. Even talk. He's just a machine.
I don't think that window is closed yet on Buffalo.
Yeah, I mean, whatever you talk about, Josh Allen seemingly playing his best football, it looks like he's the most free.
Yeah.
It looks like he's most free. Definitely the most happy.
For sure. Without a doubt.
I mean, he's always, we see him at practices. We'll get some viral videos, him dancing, and doing Josh Allen stuff.
Pranking people.
Yeah, he's so funny. And then they'll do like, hey, the best shit talker, who talks the most shit, is Josh Allen. So you hear about that? But it just looks like he's a little kid out there. It legitimately looks like he's a little kid, but he's not a little kid.
No.
He can run you over at any given moment and will do that. It's like the way he plays, the style in which he plays, is so much fun. We're taking shots, we're talking shit, we're running people over. Defense also playing great.
Yeah.
Now Jacksonville sucks.
They do.
So that
They
is
do.
obviously the iteration of this entire thing. But defense plays phenomenal as well.
Destiny arrives all the same. And now it's here. Or should I say, I am.
And a good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Coast to Coast podcast with our awesome intro. Thank you, Whittle 2K. I am your co-host, Beyond 716. Great to have you all with us tonight. Sorry for the delay tonight. We had some technical difficulties, but better late than never. Want to give a shout out to our friends at the Do Champions Media Network. Be sure to like Do Champions on X and to subscribe to us on YouTube. And look for some other great podcasts coming up as we have Third and Manageable, Post Podium Pod, No One to Blame, just to name a few. Little 2K, how are you doing this evening?
I'm very good. I am over Sunday Night Football at this point. I've looked into the film as much as I want to, and we talked about, but before we get any further, I want to thank Locks God, for the video and permission to use it. Locks God is also working on a Coast to Coast intro video, so you see what Locks God work looks like. So you can understand, like, whatever we get from Locks God when it's done, it's going to be absolutely amazing, and I'm looking forward to that. But the Buffalo Bills weren't going to win 17 games, and we lose to the Ravens in Sunday Night Football in embarrassing fashion, 35-10. And you know what? I'm glad that there's that little part in that video that we played as the intro for from Infinity War, or not Infinity Wars, from which one? What was the name of the last one?
I can't quite remember right now at the moment. My short-term memory.
Jeez, what was it? Well, whatever. It's the second one after Infinity War, um, and it's that one part where Thanos is talking and he's talking about everything that you did, it brought you back to me, and you know I'm inevitable, or should I say I am? And what did we learn in that movie? Thanos lost. Thanos
Mm-hmm.
did lose.
Mm-hmm.
So Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills go down. And pretty much everything that could go wrong kind of went wrong. Everything that could go Baltimore's way went Baltimore's way. Not to take anything away from the Ravens. They had a game plan. They came in and they really attacked uh, Buffalo in ways that no other team in the NFL can attack us, and a way that we clearly weren't prepared for in the beginning of that game. Um, we get the ball first, we get a first down on the next iteration of downs. When on third down, the next third down we have, uh, Don Kincaid comes across on a shallow route or a shallow in route or drag route, whatever you want to call it, and Josh misses him slightly, slightly misses him, but it was enough to cause an incompletion, and we end up having a punt. And listen,
Mm-hmm.
the punt was great. We get them at the 13-yard line, and the defense had been good all year. Had been good up until this point, and you know what they're gonna do. Baltimore wants to run the football. And the first play from scrimmage, 87 yards, Derrick Henry to the house, untouched, untouched. Um, and the whole first half pretty much went that way. I mean, it was screen pass. Then when we loaded the box to go after the run, it was play action. Lamar and the Ravens played virtually a flawless first half. Um, we had drops. They made great adjustments on third down. Khalil Shakir burned them a couple of times on third down. So what did they do? They said, no problem. We're going to take our best cover corner and
Mm-hmm.
Marlon Humphrey, and on money downs, we're going to put him on Shakir, and we're going to trust the other guys to get, the cover, and we're going to trust the pass rush to get home. Not a great night from the offensive line. Osiris Torrance, I feel like every week we're saying Osiris Torrance might have had his worst game of the year. This might have been the worst game of his career so far. Just
Agreed.
not really moving his feet, getting beat, on the inside with like speed rushes, and just it was bad. Spencer Brown got dog walked by Kyle Van Noy, who had another 2 sacks. So in the last 3 games, he's had 2 sacks in each of them. Um, Matabuke and Travis Jones on the inside, or Matabike, excuse me, and Travis Jones on the inside were great as well. Owe ended up getting to Josh a couple of times throughout the game. It was just a culmination of just bad for the Bills and great for the Ravens. The Ravens look like the best team in football, and we look like a fraud, a 3-0 fraud. Until
Mm-hmm.
the second half started. I
Yep.
will say the second half gave me some hope. I saw us come out after the second half, and being down 21-3, the Ravens get the football first. We kick it off to them. We get a 3-and-out. They came out defensively. We were aggressive in the second half, blitzing the gaps, the run gaps, et cetera, et cetera.
Yep.
Really taking that stuff away, really taking the fight to the Ravens. Ended up, getting a couple of holding penalties that drove them back. We got a false start on the second 3-and-out that we got from them. But after the first one, they punt. We get the ball. I don't remember what down it was. I think it might have been third down. Josh rolls out right, trying to extend the play. Khalil Shakir takes off up the sideline, kind of sneaks behind the defense. Shout out to Eddie Jackson. Shout out to Eddie Jackson, the safety for the Ravens. He totally missed Khalil Shakir. And he took the closest receiver that was down the field to him. And I believe it was either Mac Hollins. I think it was Mac Hollins. Mac Hollins was sitting there wide open. So he runs over to cover Mac Hollins because the corners pushed up because Josh was running. And Khalil was able to sneak behind. Laid it out there for him. Great ball. Shakir catches it. Couple plays later, handoff, Ty Johnson, weak side, off tackle, touchdown. It's 21-10 now. We kick the ball off again. False start penalty. We get another couple of run stuffs. And on 3rd and long, we get to Lamar Jackson. Great. They punt. We get the football back. We drive all the way down to like almost midfield. And for some reason, Joe Brady thought this is the time to call a trick play against one of the best defenses in the NFL, one of the most disciplined defenses in the NFL. And when I say disciplined, I mean those guys tackle well at every level. You rarely catch them out of position. They, Kyle Van Noy, Kyle Van Noy was there. Kyle Van Noy is a dog, always an athletic monster. Matabike is one of the best defense tackles in the league. Roquan Smith, top not number 3 linebacker in the NFL. Who was Kyle Hamilton? Kyle Hamilton had a great game, a great football game. Marlon Humphrey, one of the best corners in the league over the last 7 to 8 years. Like, the team is littered with talent. Littered with talent. It was such a dumb play call. Please put students comment back up there.
I will. Yes.
Josh Allen is one of the most famous faces in the NFL. I'd argue at this point he might be the most famous face. And you line him up at wide receiver with Curtis Samuel taking a wildcat snap. Just run it with Curtis Samuel. I mean, it's 2nd and 7. But anyway, they decide to run some sort of fake reverse, flea flicker type play. Kyle Van Noy is unblocked. Josh, in true Josh Allen, never giving up on a play fashion, decides I'm going to try to get this ball down the field. Loads up to let it go. Van Noy dives, full extension, knocks the ball out of his hands. Travis Jones comes over, blows Josh Allen up. Blows him up. And Kyle Hamilton picks up the fumble. They get great field position. A few plays later, they score. So instead of it being 21-13 or 21-17, it is now 28-10. And it's over. Like, at that point, it's over.
Yep.
We left a little early. from the game. Well, I'm not going to put anybody else's business out there, but I'll say me. I left as Tyler Bass was missing that kick.
You left the perfect time.
Yep, there you go. Worst part about the play, no protection for Josh Allen because you had him lined up as a wide receiver.
Yep.
Stupid play call.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to the coordinators, Bobby Babbage and Joe Brady, not for the game plan, but for being accountable. There was
Yes.
no excuses. They didn't dodge any questions. They said, both of them said, this is you got to learn from this. You make mistakes and then you move on. Folks, we weren't going 17-0. We weren't. But if you're gonna lose, you don't want to lose by 25 against one of the best teams in your conference, who you're most likely going to see in January in the playoffs at some point, provided you both teams survive in advance. I feel like the second half is how we should have started the first half. Aggressive on defense, sticking to the run on offense. It worked. It worked. And for whatever reason, they got away from what got us to 3-0, and we played into what the Ravens wanted to do. Got to give the Ravens credit. Defensively and offensively, they played a simple math game called a box count, and they won the box count number every single time they needed to. If we had 6 guys blocking, they brought 7. If we had 7 back there, they brought 8. I mean, it was just, and when we had 5 in the box, they had 5. Hat on the hat. If we brought 6, they had 6. Hat on the hat every single time. I mean, Derrick Henry rushed for almost 200 yards, and it's different. Like, if we lose because of a late field goal, okay. I mean, it hurts, but it was competitive. If we lose because, we gave up a touchdown or we came back and we just ran out of time, I can respect that as well. But when you get ran on the way you get like that, like when you get ran on for over 200 yards in a game by another team, that is just, I mean, it's emasculating,
Yeah.
Like, I know this is not a soft team, but it looked like a soft team.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It looked like a soft team. Our linebackers were exposed. There were a few players who looked like on film they made some business decisions. The fact that we have a safety out there in DeMar Hamlin that can't catch Derrick Henry from the safety position or the run play where he's starting, 7 yards in the backfield, unacceptable. You gotta chase him down and make that tackle. Derrick Henry's like 245 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
You're 200 pounds. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. But yeah, I'm gonna wipe my hands of that entire game and just, yeah. Your thoughts? You have anything else? Do you have anything for
Yeah.
the Ravens
Yeah.
recap?
I mean, you've analyzed the game perfectly in that sense, so I'm not going to go that angle. I'll go another angle. We're almost at episode 60 of our podcast, Whittle, right? And the Bills lost for the first time by over 10 points, the third time this decade. Let that sink in for everybody out there. We're almost getting ready to celebrate 2025. We're almost halfway through the decade. We have only lost 3 games by more than 10 points. This is the first time that you and I are doing a podcast where we just got outplayed, right? This was a night that we're not used to as Bills fans. And that's been a good thing in a sense. I'm trying to look at the silver lining, of course. I mean, like you said, credit Baltimore. They came to play. Their urgency was absolutely higher than ours. I know that's not an excuse for us, but I think when you combine that with the losses we had at linebacker, combine that with I thought the Ravens, and you're more of an X and O guy than I am, but I thought the Ravens attacked our defense against. They didn't go after our strengths. Like we have the excellent corners. They didn't. It really wasn't a factor that game. Like they went after little areas. They neutralized our pass rush. They just did all the little things they needed to do, and we were just a little bit off on offense. We just couldn't find that rhythm. But Whittle, in the military, you train for the best and worst of scenarios, right? When you're going through your training, and I look at the big picture. We're 3-1. I think if before we started the season, if I told you we're going to be 3-1, I think most of us would have signed up for that. I think we would have said, okay, obviously we won 4-0, but 3-1, you do that 4 separate times, you're 12-14 rocking in the week 17. We're talking about a 1 seed. So there's no reason to panic. But the mark of a good team, Whittles, when everything's going great, you got great protection, and everything's going well. Everybody eats, and Josh is smiling on the sidelines. It's wonderful. But now we get to see a little bit more about this 2024 team. How do you react to that kind of loss, right? We haven't been used to that kind of beating on the field in terms of just being outplayed. Baltimore beat us in the coaching staff and an execution. So how do we react going forward? That's what and I think it's Josh said it best. At least it's early in the season. I think there's something to that. A lot of great teams over the years, have gotten beat pretty bad early in the season, taking tough losses, right? Bills did it in their Super Bowl years. I know I'm going way back, but even some of the more recent teams have taken it. So I think if there's something to hang your hat on, combined with everything, it was like you said, it was a little bit of everything. You don't want to take everything away from what the Ravens did. They did an excellent job. They absolutely had to win. So, I'm definitely not pressing the panic button, and we're just gonna have to see how this team responds this Sunday in Houston.
Um,
And this is the quote of the night right here. Whittle watches a lot of football. Yes. That goes without saying. So I just wanted to put that in.
Probably too much.
No, it's for our benefit.
You said something that I don't want to move off of so quickly. You said that there was more of a sense of urgency from the Baltimore Ravens. As many of you know, I myself and a few other Bills fans were at that game, and up until like when you walk into the stadium, first of all, M&T Bank Stadium, the best stadium I've ever been to.
Mm.
Like it was, I haven't been to a ton. Haven't been to a ton of stadiums, but it's better than Highmark. It's better than MetLife. It's better than well, I mean, I haven't been to the new Cardinal Stadium, but I went to the old one. It's better than that. It's better than FedEx. It's better than Miami Stadium.
I'm gonna bet it's better than SoFi.
Gillette.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna bet you it's better than SoFi. I'm telling you, I've been there 3 times.
I don't know.
I'm gonna bet it.
I can't.
I'm gonna bet you.
Yeah, I can't say it. It was great though. You walk in, it's like literally you walk into the building and there are concessions, and then you take like another maybe 10 steps forward and you're walking towards like you're basically you're almost at your seat. So I don't like you could feel it. Like, I mean, when the warm ups and stuff, you see it and everybody looks pretty much the same when they're warming up. But then they cut the lights out and Ray Lewis pops up on the Jumbotron, right? He pops up on the screen. And then he's saying, listen, I know I'm not there, but I know I'm not on the field, but I'm there in spirit. And he's talking, how Ray Lewis is, right? Ray Lewis
is there any player?
Yeah.
Is there any player to get you more fired up than Ray Lewis? Really? I don't care if he's a Bill or
And
not. He's incredible. His energy is incredible.
he is incredible. So then he's just talking about like Ravens football and what it's like to be, and then they cut the lights out. They throw you get the fireworks and all of that, and the crowd starts making noise, and then they flash on another screen the Ravens players walking down the walking through the facility, headed to the tunnel to come out. And on their faces, like Roquan Smith was the first one you saw. Not a smirk, no smile, very, very businesslike. And I said, okay, the boys, they ready to play. Like they're coming out here to play. Lamar Jackson came out. When they announced him, crowd went crazy. He was extremely reserved though. Like I'll say this. Seeing Lamar Jackson in person, I never want to watch him on TV again. In person, he throws such a pretty football.
He does.
I mean, he's accurate. I don't want to gush over him too much, but I can understand why people look at like when people say Lamar just has it, he just got it, dog. Like I don't know whatever it is, Lamar has it. And you see it when he's on the field. You see it. Total command of the offense. Makes great decision in the midst of a motion and RPOs and guys moving around. He is the unquestioned leader of that team. The city is behind him. The city's behind the team. You felt that energy throughout the pregame and the first half of that game. And then the second half, and we were almost there. And the lady behind me, a Ravens fan that was sitting behind me, she says, "Oh, here we go again." Right? As we have the football
Yep.
marching down the field, she's like, "Oh, here we go again."
Yep.
And I felt that. They did.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe Brady let him off the hook. We had him right where we wanted him.
Mm-hmm.
And we let him off the hook.
We did.
We let him off the hook. But, yeah. But shout out to the Ravens fans. Shout out to Kicker, DJ,
Nice,
Juice, all the guys down there. We appreciate the hospitality. Baltimore was an experience. I enjoyed myself at that stadium. I hope we get to play you guys again in the playoffs. I am driving down. I am coming to that. I'll probably spend the weekend this time, but yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed myself. Definitely thoroughly enjoyed myself.
Excellent. At least for that, right? It could have
Yeah.
been worse, right? So it's the whole game experience. So yeah,
Yeah.
but that's a top-notch organization too, Whittle. And it starts, Lamar is one of those tone setters of that. So I absolutely agree with you. And I would imagine seeing him in person and just seeing, like you said, just how he throws the ball and just how quick he is and how fast it's just the whole package that he's got, right? And you made a very interesting comment
Yeah.
about the command of the offense, right? Like he's been with the Ravens for a long time now. They have a lot of synergy with the coach and everything. So it definitely translates on the field.
Nobody can like my top three, period. My top three has Lamar Jackson in it. I'm not changing it. And that's it. Like after seeing him in person, my top three's got Lamar Jackson in it. That's it. Do you guys think it was a bad game or bad sign with the? No, I think it was a bad game. I honestly think it was a bad game. And Matt, a great question. The reason why I say that is because the second half we came out aggressive and got them off the field. So I know we can play with them. Like I know we can play on the same field with those guys. This is, even with, the injuries that we had or whatever. I know that we can still play with those guys. It's just the mindset, like we can't go out there and play them like we play the Dolphins. Like I don't care how hyped up the Dolphins get. They know what time it is when Buffalo's in the building. Like it's a loss.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And the same I feel the same way with the Jets. Like the Jets can do whatever they want, get hyped up and all of that other stuff. If the Bills come in there and play mistake-free football, it's over. Like
Yeah.
I don't care how many fireworks you set off or flags you fly. It's a wrap. We played mistake-free football, but that game was different. Like we needed to go in there. We needed to match their intensity. They beat us
Mm-hmm.
up. They beat us up, and it's
And I
something to
can't.
learn from.
Yep, and we can't overstate that first run by Henry. I just think that set the whole tone right off the bat. Oh, we could even as a fan sitting at home, I'm like, oh, like I was feeling it. I mean, was it almost like the loss we took to Tennessee in 2020? Was it 2021 on Tuesday Night Football?
Yeah.
Remember when Henry ran all over us, and it felt a little
Well,
bit like that.
that was a weird game though, because like I mean we
Yeah,
were supposed to play them. I think we were supposed to play them Sunday,
yeah.
or yeah, and then it was like a COVID issue, and
We
they
had to
had
move
to
it
back the game
twice.
up
Yeah,
to Tuesday. Yeah, so it
hmm
was
yeah.
crazy. Yeah, Matt. I'm sure McDermott pulled his coordinators into a small room with no windows and told them like, bro, this could never happen again. Like, I
hmm
cannot do that. And last thing I'm going to say about this, about in relations to that game, because we do need to talk about the Texans. Um,
Yep.
Roquan Smith is is definitely a tone setter for that team, right? Lamar Jackson is a tone setter for that team. Um, Kicker, Kicker is a tone setter for that team. Like he's a
hmm
celebrity down there.
Yeah.
We have LeSean. Who do we have on the field though?
hmm
Because it was Diggs, it was Poyer, it was Hyde, and I know we're missing those guys as far as like their. I know we're not necessarily missing their play on the field, but are we missing that fire? Like, is
Maybe.
there somebody on this team that's going to step into that role? Because I think we do have guys. I think we do. I think Dorian Williams can eventually be that. Dorian
hmm
Williams is a very physical player.
Oh
I
yeah.
like that.
Yeah,
Very
he's gonna be
physical
a fan
player.
favorite. He's gonna be a fan favorite for
Yeah.
a long time.
Um,
Absolutely.
I get Rousseau kind of, I mean, I get Vaughn really can't say too much because, he got that, well, I mean, he's got, some other issues that we'll discuss in a few. But,
hmm
he didn't really do much last year. So it's kind of like it's hard to lead from example when you don't produce. But who else? Like
I don't think Ed's that type of
all the rest of these
player,
guys
right?
seem like they
You know what I
just want to
mean?
have fun. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
like
like yeah,
like a lot of these guys are just like they're happy go lucky. Matt Collins. Oh, Matt Collins is cool. He's
yep.
got no shoes and yeah,
Dawson
Dawson
Knox,
Knox
kind of
and
Kincaid. You know, they're
yeah,
nice
Josh.
guys.
Yeah, a bunch of frat
Yeah,
boys.
yeah, yeah. Pretty much. Yeah, that's a good point, Whittle. Yeah, I didn't even think about
Yeah.
that till you just mentioned it. Really, I mean, Shakir's kind of quiet, reserved. I don't know too much about Samuel, if he has that kind of fire or not. I mean,
Quiet,
maybe. Do you think we
quiet
could
guy.
see that from Keon someday? Maybe. I know he's still a rookie, but maybe he's the
That's the
guy.
guy.
Yeah.
That's the guy.
hmm
That is the guy. I think it's him.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
this is and why I want it to be him. Why I want it to be him is because he also has the other side, right? Where, with the fun and games and
Yes.
happy go lucky, but I need it to be him.
I could see him being very
And
respected in that locker room too. Like not just you know what I mean, because of that other side mixed in. I think they would listen on that front.
I know the way we get there, is he has to have a moment, right? He has to have a moment. Second quarter, he had that drop right before halftime that would have put us in scoring range. That would have been a big catch. That would have made us. That would have put us, 21-6 or maybe 21-10 at halftime versus coming out at 21-3. But I would love to have seen us, kind of get down there, score, and make it 21-17, kick the ball off to the Ravens, get another stop, and see if we could get the ball to Keon, in the end zone or something like that. Because that's a moment. You know what I'm saying? A game-winning touchdown against the Baltimore Ravens. That would be a moment. And that would give him some sort of cachet to come in and be like, yo, come on, we better than these guys. Like, let's go. Let's get it. But, all right. I'm gonna
Absolutely.
put
Well,
the Ravens. Yeah, I'm gonna put the Ravens
well,
game
well,
Sunday
we
Night
will.
Football to rest.
Well, here's what we'll do. We'll put the Ravens to rest, and we will pivot towards the showdown down south against the Houston Texans and our old buddy Stephon Diggs. But before we do that, I just want our Bills fans here want to pay the bills a little bit, and then we will get right into it. So without further ado, let's talk about our first friends here. You look at the bottom of the screen here. I want to talk about a company called American Buddha. American Buddha Company launched in spring of 2017. They are a lifestyle and travel media brand focused on making happiness a habit. In the turbulent and ever-changing world we live in today, there's just not enough regular reminders to simply be happy, just as Buddha taught several millennia ago. What you want to do, go to AmericanBuddhaCO.com to learn more. Follow them on Instagram as well, same name. You could DM them for orders, inquiries, and more information. Those are our first friends. Our second friends, and in no particular order because we love them all, we want to talk a little bit about BetUS. So our sports bettors out there, your favorite sportsbook, BetUS.com, is back for the 30th year of sports action. They have the industry's biggest sign-up bonuses, up to 125%. They offer opportunity to cash in on all your favorite sports, including live action and the chance to build your own prop. So live in-game betting, incredible props, daily odds boosters, top-tier racebook, and an unbelievable casino experience. Fast payouts, exceptional one-on-one customer service as well. What you want to do, Whittle, if you want to, go to betus.com, click on the link below. Well, it's not a link, but if you go to promo DUE, D-U-E, you'll get the greatest sign-up bonuses in the business. Their account managers are available 24/7 to help get you started on the best action. Their phone number is 1-800-792-3887. And Whittle, the line this week has moved. The Texans were a 1-point favorite at one point, but now our Bills have moved to a 1-point favorite. I find that kind of interesting that the line is moving towards Buffalo, just considering we're going to get to the injuries too and some other things we got going on. But I found that kind of interesting that the public out there generally thinks that maybe the Bills come out with a win. So there we go. And again, bet responsibly. That's my own plug. Okay, Whittle. On to Houston, as Bill Belichick once said. No, he said on to Cincinnati. No, okay, on to Houston.
On to Houston. Where do you want to start? Like, I mean, that's a good football team. Both teams are coming into this 3-1.
You know, Whittle, do you think of them like us in 2019, 2020, kind of like a mix of that? Like you feel like they're on the cusp.
They're better than us.
I mean, but maybe in between.
2019.
Yeah, I'll say that meant I kind of backtracked that saying kind of not as good as our 2020 team, but maybe not as bad as but better than our 2019 team. Kind of somewhere in the middle, right? Up and coming.
They're better than 2019, but they're not as good as 2020. I'll say that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
okay. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we know what CJ Stroud could do. I mean, he's one of the young rising superstars of the league. I mean, if he's not there already, right? Our old friend Stephon Diggs is over there. I think we've all heard of that situation, so we don't have to rehash that. Nico Collins is a beast. What's that? I don't know. Are we friends with him? I don't know. Or is that former friend? Should we say former friend Stephon Diggs? Were we even friends in the first place?
You,
Acquaintance.
you remember the song? All of my exes live in Texas.
Texas. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
that's where
And
our ex is.
that's where Diggs lives. And how about this? A Sunday 1 o'clock game in this economy, Winnell? When's the
Finally,
last time we had one of these? Like, even me out here in the West, 10 a.m. I love those 10 a.m. start times. So,
yeah, man. Let's get it out the way,
mhm.
man. Let's get it out the
Yep.
way.
Yeah. So,
Um,
how we feeling in terms of our side of things? I mean, you want to start maybe with some of the injuries, kind of go through who you think may play, who won't play, or how do you want to go about it?
well, so let me pull up the injuries real quick. I'm gonna pull those up. First thing I'll say is we need a win. We
Mhm.
need to get this taste out. We need to get this bad taste of the loss out of our away from us right now. That is that is the official stance that I have on what's
Mhm.
going on right now.
Yeah.
But so so the Texans, that's a better matchup for us uh than obviously the Baltimore Ravens. They do the way they play plays directly into our strength. So we are a pass coverage team that likes to be fast and fly around the field, yada yada yada. They do that. They throw the ball. They want to throw it more than they want to run it. And that's just perfectly fine with us because we have a great pair of corners. And hopefully now we will see some of those some improvement at the safety position with Taylor. Yeah, you right. We better beat the Texans. Um, so a couple things with where the Texans are concerned. Uh, Points per game, they're 23rd in the or 22nd, excuse me, with 23 and a half per game. I mean, and
Mhm.
that's whatever, right? Whatever with that. But then when you go to like their rushing and their passing defense, right? They're actually not that bad. They're middle of the road, right? So they give up about, I mean, they're better than us as far as the run defense is because, we just gave up 200 yards in the game to Derrick Henry. Um, and then I think we gave up a good amount of yards on the ground to the Cardinals and the Miami Dolphins as well. But their run defense is pretty solid. I mean, they can be had. It's not like they're not world beaters defensively as of right now. So their rushing defense, it's like middle of the road, whatever. Pass defense, they're pretty solid. They're number 4, right? They don't give up a lot of yards through the air. But
Mhm.
is that a combination of who they played and the fact that it was so easy to run on them because
Well, I was just gonna.
they were getting ran on. They can be had. They can be had running
I
the
was just gonna.
football.
I was just gonna say in their front, Whittle, they did play Anthony Richardson in the Colts week 1, and they did play Caleb Williams, rookie, and the Bears on Sunday Night
Hmm.
Football. So that and the struggles of the Jaguars, as we saw with Trevor Lawrence. So 3 of the 4, and they got They got beat by 27 against the Vikings. So they haven't played a
Yeah,
Mahomes, a Josh, any of the Lamar Jackson. They haven't played any of the top guys in the league right now, so far.
right. But still, they're still like a very good team, very talented team. Um, and they're coming in here with they bring a unique threat that not many teams can kind of bring. They bring you 3 guys that could, you know, on any given Sunday at the wide receiver position, destroy you. Can go for 100 plus.
Mhm.
Um, they're very very talented on both sides of the football. So, but a couple of things that I wanted to point out that kind of stuck out. Obviously, Steve Stroud starting quarterback in his second year. Um, it now people want to like I've heard people say things like, well, is CJ going through his sophomore year slump? I mean, the man's throwing his completion percentage is higher than it was last year. Um, he's still throwing the ball very well. 6 passing touchdowns to 2 interceptions. Both interceptions came in against Minnesota. Like, I don't think that it's CJ that's the issue. And then, you know, his number one weapon is Nico Collins. Nico Collins is coming into this week with 30 receptions, 488 yards. This is in 4 games on a team that has Stephon Diggs, Tank Dell, Joe Mixon's been hurt, Dalton Schultz at tight end. I mean, there are a bunch of talented mouths to feed on that offense. But Nico Collins is coming in. He's catching 71% of the balls. He has 1 drop, 1 out of 42 targets, 1 drop.
That's a
And that came in week 1. 16 yards per reception and an average depth of target of 12. That's pretty good. Uh, every PFF grade he's had this year so far has been 81 or higher. He's pushing his way into that top 10 fringe top 5 category. I like him more than I like AJ Brown. And I know people are going to kill me for it, but I really don't care. Like, Nico Collins is a dog. Um, and he'll get that's going to be a test. I don't know if they're going to put Douglas on him and then put Benford on Diggs, which is what I would do. I would put Benford on him on Nico, and put I will put Douglas on Nico, and I will put Benford on Stephon Diggs, because win or lose, I don't want Stephon to have a good game. So
agree. Yes, I agree.
give me Benford on Diggs all day. Shut him down. They're also coming into this game with some injuries. So Derek Barnett, one of the defensive ends, he's got 2 sacks so far this year. He had a shoulder injury. He didn't play. He didn't practice today. Joe Mixon, ankle injury. He did not practice. Damian Pierce. I think this is his 3rd year out of Florida. 3rd or 4th. I think it's his 3rd year though. He didn't play as well. Larry Tunsil he didn't practice. He's got a hamstring issue. Larry Tunsil, ankle injury. He's not practicing, and I don't know if Texans fans are too broken up about that, because Larry Tunsil leads the league in penalties. So
let's get him in there.
I don't think they care. Yeah. Tank Dell's got a chest injury. Jack Hansen, linebacker, back injury. Jerry Hughes, that's a name that should be familiar, defensive end. Hip
He's our
injury.
friend, Whittle. He's our friend.
Yes, he's a friend. He's a friend of the program. Yes, sir. Juice Scruggs, 2nd year center out of Penn State. You should know who that is.
I
Leon.
do.
Yeah. Hip injury, he was limited. Jimmy Ward, groin injury, limited. Kurt Heinisch, defensive tackle, he has a calf injury. He was a full go. And Dylan Horton, defensive end, an unstated illness, but he was a full practice today. So 4 DNPs, 4 did not practices. Barnett, Mixon, Pierce, and Tunsil. Listen, I don't wish injury. I'm not trying to wish injury, but I hope Joe Mixon doesn't play.
Yeah.
Not interested in seeing Joe Mixon Sunday.
No.
But if he does, it is what it is.
But I think that's the key, Whittle. If we could just, we don't need. I always look at when you play really good excellent quarterbacks like Stroud, you have to keep that running game in check, right? You can't make it where, Mixon's eating for 100+ yards and keeping our defense off balance. We have to try to get this to a situation where, maybe CJ Stroud does eat for 290+ yards or 280, but if you force him into a couple of those mistakes, right, that we turn into touchdowns or we turn into points, that's ideally what we're looking for. So that to me is always the key. But I can't even imagine that even if Mixon plays, he's going to be 100%. He's dealing with an ankle injury. He didn't practice. And Pierce, the other guy too, he's another guy. He's really fallen off. I'm really disappointed in Damian Pierce. I really thought he was one of the steals of the draft that year. And he is
Did he
just,
fall off though?
I
Or
don't
is he
know
just
what's
not a
going on
scheme
there.
fit?
It's
I just
maybe
don't think
that's
he's a
true.
scheme fit for them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, maybe that's it. Because I still think a team should take a flyer on him if they need a running back. I still think I loved him at Florida, but
Me
yeah,
too.
it's just surprising. I just thought he had such a promising career going in Houston, and with all these weapons they have in the quarterback, you're thinking, okay, that would be a great fit. But you're right, it probably just hasn't, probably scheme wise, hasn't worked out. So, by the way, the chat is live
Yeah.
with the Jet fan. By the way, if you want to go peek in there for a second. So,
Not really. I'm
okay.
over. I tried my hand at a Texan space today,
Oh no.
and yeah, it was very disappointing. We'll just say that much. I was
Oh,
extremely disappointed with
you know what? It
with
really
that
speaks.
space.
You know what? It speaks volumes about how good our spaces really are, Will. For the
Yeah,
we really do treat a lot of the fans with respect, especially the ones that deserve it, right? We do a great
right.
job with that. So, yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
But like social media is what it is. If you use it for
Yeah,
entertainment, you use it to argue with people and whatever else. I mean, that's your choice. Enjoy it.
yes,
We
sir.
we also have some injuries I want to get into before
Hmm.
we move forward. Deion Dawkins hamstring. That is huge.
Hmm.
Left tackle Deion Dawkins with a hamstring. That is huge because this is a team with Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter when they're
Hmm.
out there. I'm sure Barnett's going to play as well. I'm sure Jerry Hughes is going to play. So that's four guys on the edge that could have a crack at Ryan Vandermark. And after the beating that this offensive line took last week or Sunday night against the Ravens, I'm not really trying to have Josh be running for his life in Houston, man. Um, you know, really not looking forward to that. So hopefully, hopefully, this is a minor issue for Dion, and Dion is healthy enough where he can play without risking further injury. Because the last thing you want is to lose Dion for the year. So if he needs to sit out, sit him out. I definitely don't want to deal. I definitely don't want to deal with a season without Deion Dawkins at left
Hmm.
tackle.
Right.
What else we got?
Absolutely.
Austin Johnson had an oblique
Hmm.
issue. He did not practice. I'm fairly certain he'll be out this week. I don't think he's gonna play. Taylor Rapp with a concussion. That's I don't know if he clears protocol or not. Shakir with an ankle injury that he suffered in the Ravens game. He left the stadium with a walking boot on. That's not good. I'm hoping that he can play, but at the same time, like if he can't, can we get some usage out of our $8 million man, Curtis Samuel? Like we should still be able to run a competent offense with Curtis Samuel in the slot. Um, and the guys that were limited in full practices, so Terrell Bernard and Taron Johnson, both limited. Bernard was not in a red non-contact jersey. Taron Johnson was, so I think Terrell Bernard plays. I don't think Taron Johnson plays. Josh Allen still with that left hand injury.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
and Quinn Morris, who they have listed as a tackle, but we know he is a tight end. Um, Shoulder issue, he was a full practice, and Mitch Trubisky with the knee injury, also a full practice. So ultimately, I think I think I'm not sure if any of the guys that we have injured play. Um, I don't know outside of like I think Bernard's going to play. Obviously, Josh, Quentin Morris, and Mr. Trubisky are going to play. Those guys are going to play, sure. But out of Deion Dawkins, Austin Johnson, Taylor Rapp, Khalil
Hmm.
Shakir, and
Hmm.
Taron Johnson, I don't think honestly, I don't think any of those guys play.
Wow.
Yeah, I think I mean, I'll be watching the practice, to see who's out there, but
Hmm.
it wouldn't surprise me if we were missing all of those guys. But nevertheless, it is what
Yeah,
it is.
it's
Marcus
gonna be.
Ingram will get his opportunity to guard Tank Dell,
Yep,
which
absolutely.
should be interesting.
And not on the injury report is Von Miller. We also have Von out for 4 weeks, as we know. Any
Suspension,
thought?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, not the best timing in the world, but I guess if there's a silver lining, it's not late in the season. So at least, and we have seen that Von Miller's produced, so we could take solace in that he'll come back hopefully refreshed and recharged for our stretch run. Again, always trying to find the silver lining, but
Well,
not
I
great.
mean,
Not great timing this week. But
no, I mean, don't hit women. Like and we won't, and we wouldn't
yes,
be in this situation. Like, he's gotta be better.
yep,
Um,
hmm,
Not
definitely,
to get too much into his personal business because that is a slippery slope. But yeah, just Devon, do better.
yep,
Um, do better.
absolutely, 100%.
What else we got on the menu? Oh, I don't want to get too far away from this, but the Texans defense, like I gave you the numbers, but this year they have 3 takeaways. That's it. I feel like that's like I feel like that's low.
Hmm.
I mean, I feel like that's kind of low. I don't know. I mean,
Hmm.
let me see. Let's pull up the turnover numbers.
Well, they have 14 sacks as a defense. I do see that.
They do.
So they
They
got a
do.
good pass
Yep.
rush. They're one of the best in the league.
Wow, we're tied for second with turnover margin. Look at that.
Hmm.
Look at that. They are 21st. Tied for 21st in the league. I mean, they don't take the ball away. Like they really don't.
Hmm.
They're not. I don't know. Giveaways. Okay. Where are we at? There we go. Yeah, where are they? Where are they? They are tied for 23rd. Like they're right before the bottom of the league and takeaways per game. Like they are not taking the ball away. We are tied for fifth with the
Hmm.
Chargers and the Niners. Um so yeah, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. They don't take the ball away. They have some issues in the secondary. My outlook on the Houston Texans, real quick. Um, CJ Stroud, great quarterback, is having another good year, just like he did last year. Uh, I think the offensive line is failing him. Not having Joe Mixon has definitely hurt that offense. They can't run the football without Joe Mixon. Cam Akers just ain't it. He's not getting it
Hmm.
done. So they can't run the football with him. Therefore, the play action is less effective. It's still effective, but it's not as effective as it could be.
Hmm.
Nico Collins is an absolute dog. Stephon Diggs, um, he's reliable. He's a
Yeah.
reliable option for them. Tank Dell, super explosive, very difficult to deal with as a pass catcher. They have a really good tight end in Dalton Schultz. I know he's not getting a ton of usage, but they actually have a good pair. I think they have another one too in Page Dover, I think his name is, or something like that. They had 2 tight ends that are pretty solid. The offensive line has been poor. They're
Yes, they have.
one of the most penalized units in the league. Um, CJ has been under duress for long stretches of the for stretches of the season, and the penalties hurt the offense because obviously you're losing yards. You're not looking at 1st and 10. You're looking at 1st and 20, 2nd and 15, whatever it is. The constant penalties is just killing that offense, man, killing it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is.
But they're still explosive. Like I said, Nico Collins is the real deal. Um, I would look at what Minnesota did against that offense, and I would dial up pressure, man. I would dial up pressure. I would run stunts. I
Mm-hmm.
would definitely force CJ to put the ball in harm's way against a mixed coverage where I'm blitzing. Like I'm gonna probably man up on the outside, play zone across the middle of the field, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna send a blitz. I'm gonna send a safety. I'm gonna send one of the linebackers. I might send a safety and a linebacker. I might send the linebacker and the corner, the nickel. I might send both linebackers. I might send the linebacker to delay blitz on a defensive end, defensive tackle stunt. I may do all of that. But what you want to do is you want to speed up CJ's decision making. You
Yep.
cannot allow these quarterbacks to sit back there and pick you apart and find a guy because they will. They will. So speed them
Translation: we
up.
cannot do anything like we did last week against Lamar Jackson in the first
Absolutely.
half. Yep.
Yeah, speed them up. Make sure
Mm-hmm.
you try to get a helmet on them as many times as you can. Against the Vikings, he was sacked 5 times. He was knocked down 8 times, and he threw 2 interceptions, and they got blown out.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do that. Let's
Yep.
send the pressure, and those guys got to get home. I
Yep.
think we get Terrell Bernard back, so that will help with the
Yes.
coverage over the middle. One of the routes that they love to run is that deep in route where one of their wide guys will cut across the middle of the field like about 15 to 18 yards away.
Okay.
And he's just open because he's sitting between the quarter coverage shell that's over top
Okay.
and the second level defenders underneath. So they're running that right in that sweet spot.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Find that soft
you
spot,
can't
right? Yeah.
Yeah, you can't allow that to develop. You got to put
Mm-hmm.
pressure on them. Get those
Yep.
guys out of there, man. Um,
Absolutely.
hopefully we can turn them over.
Yep.
Defensively,
100%.
pass rush is solid. Like the pass rush is pretty good. I
Yep.
think they're top. Were they third or fourth in sacks this year with 14,
Yes.
or I think they have 14 and we have like 12, or maybe it's
Mm-hmm.
16 and we have 14. I know we're 2 away from them. Um, their defensive ends. I mean, Will Anderson has 2 sacks. Barnett has 2. Settle has 2. Daniel Hunter has 1.5
Mm-hmm.
sack. So Texas play cover 1, cover 3, cover 4 at the same rate. 20% of the time they mix the zone up good. Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
While being able to give same looking on cover. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this is a game where
Exactly.
you may see Matt Collins, Keon Coleman really be the tight ends. Those guys be a big part of the offense because they know how to find soft areas in the zone and
Mm-hmm.
and make themselves available. Uh, they've got issues at safety. Jimmy Ward's hurt, but he was a limited practice participant with a groin injury. I'm sure he'll play. They have Jalen Petrie, who they had at safety last year. They didn't like him there, I guess. So they moved him to sort of like the nickel spot.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been good against the run, but not so great against in covering slot receivers. So if Khalil Shakir plays, that's going to be great. But Curtis Samuel can slide into that slot role, and he should be able to cook.
Yep.
Hopefully, he's
Yep.
able to cook because we need Harrington Cook. But I think this is a better matchup. The Bills should be embarrassed by what happened Sunday night and look
Hmm.
to come out here against another team that was in the playoffs in the divisional round last year. Uh, they should look to come out here and beat the hell out of the Texans.
Yep. So
Um,
having said that, let's go to game predictions. So what is your call in terms of a score? In terms of what should we expect on Sunday?
I'm going to say 27-16 Buffalo.
Okay. Absolutely. Okay. I'm going to go a little closer. I know a lot of scores that we were predicting have been close. I would pick a more comfortable Bills win if I felt more confident in the injury report. I am a little concerned about Dion. That was something we didn't expect. Yeah, that just happened today. I think the Bills gut it out, win 27-23. I think we play bend but don't break. We keep them out of the end zone, and Josh and the Bills try to, we run the ball better. I think we could be more effective there, keep Stroud off the field. We
Yep,
have to do that. And I think we can.
yep,
I think even without Dawkins, I think we could find opportunities to run the football. And we have to do that in all facets. And of course, win the turnover battle as usual. And I do expect the Bills to win by 4 points. Now, lastly, Whittle, before we head out, we have to address the elephant in the room, as they say, right? All the talk about wide receivers on the market. We've heard a lot about Devontae Adams. I see you already shaking your head. I see it already. And some whispers about Amari Cooper. And, this is fresh off the heels of a 25-point loss that our Bills took on Sunday night. As you know, the emotions get going. But in terms of where you think the Bills are, do you think it's worth it? Would you, if you were Brandon Beane, what would be your would you do it? Let's say Devontae Adams is that available to you, or even Amari Cooper. And B, what kind of prices would you pay if you were going to do that, considering where the Bills are in their wide receiver room?
Okay. Um, yes, I would do it because this wide receiver room was constructed to accentuate the value or the skill set of Stephon Diggs. That was the purpose of bringing in these big guys and and Curtis Samuel was to make sure that we were able to make things easier on an elite level receiver. Um, so it's built ready, ready for plug and play. My trepidation in going after a Devontae Adams is the cap number and the
Mm-hmm.
fact that he has no more guaranteed money after this year. So whatever draft compensation you give, there's no guarantee that he stays here past this season, the remainder of this season, because he's most likely gonna want a new deal since none of his money's guaranteed. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that the Buffalo Bills are in the market to pay another receiver north of $27 million a year for their services. I think Devontae's 32,
32, yeah.
still very good, still a top, in my opinion, a top five receiver. But you know, I don't know about that, man. I,
Well, considering our
I,
draft capital, even with the extra picks, like let's say a second rounder. Now Minnesota's we thought was going to be a high second rounder, but that's not looking to be the case. So would you pay a second rounder and maybe even another pick? We have 3 4s. I'm not saying we have to give up one of those, but even if it was a rental, right? And this draft they're saying coming up,
that's a
not as
lot.
strong as last year, at least so
In
far.
what area?
In terms of they're saying in terms of first rounders, they're saying. At least that's the initial
Oh,
report they're
but
showing.
there is definitely top end talent at the. I mean,
Yeah,
there's some studs at receiver. I mean, and this is early in
yeah,
the college season too. Like
true, true.
Maryland's got a guy that's standing out right now. Shout out to Guru.
Yep.
Um, Shout out to Guru Ranchard, Maryland fans. I think Marshawn as well. Shout out to y'all boys, man. They have a guy out there, Ty Felton. I mean, Ty Felton he has been absolutely dominant. But I understand this weekend he went down with an injury. I'm not totally sure of the extent of the injury, but he did sustain an injury this weekend. I love my guy Zachary Franklin out there in
Yes.
Illinois. So, and there's other guys too, like you know, always Ohio State has a couple. I'm sure LSU has one that we don't know about yet that will,
True.
quietly have 1,600 yards and 12 touchdowns before we know it. There's Isaiah Bond. I think he's in Texas now. He was with Alabama. Um, McMillan out in Arizona. Who else? Ted Johnson in Oregon. I mean, there are guys all over the place that Barry and Brown in Kentucky. There are guys everywhere. We need to uh, really think about this. The other issue that I have with going out and getting a vet is we're sacrificing targets that should and could go to Keon Coleman. I'm just gonna come out and say it now, guys. I'm good. Bean, McDermott, whoever it is, listen, guys, I'm good. I don't need to see Matt Collins starting at X anymore. Like I got it. He's cool. He's a leader. You like him. He doesn't wear shoes. He doesn't use utensils. It's a great story. Keon's a better receiver than he is. Let's get Keon more snaps, please. And it's not that Keon's not getting snaps. He is, but I just don't think it's enough. I want more targets for Keon Coleman. He drafted this kid 33rd overall. You could have took him in the second round. I mean, in the first round, but you know, did a good job, and you picked up a extra pick. So cool, good job. But yeah, I'm ready to see Keon Coleman get the work that he needs to develop. And I'd love to see Curtis Samuel play wide receiver.
Her student.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Okay. All right, student. See, I'm not tapped in like these guys. These guys have connections at One
Yeah.
Bills Drive that I don't. I don't have any connections.
Yep.
I just do Twitter and this podcast.
I'm with you, Whittle. I'm with you, 100%.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm with it, man. Like if it improves this team, if it's just a rental, fine. I'm kind of good with it. I think the roster's pretty good. But if I had to choose between spending draft capital on a older wide receiver, veteran guy who's an elite level talent, or saving that draft capital, playing the season out, and then moving up to get a defensive tackle, yeah, I do the latter. I would save up that draft capital and attack
Did you
the
see?
draft day
Did you
and
see
say,
your draft crush this weekend lead his Kentucky team into an upset against number
he's
6 Ole Miss? Whittle.
bro,
So just saying.
he is a monster. Listen,
Yes. Yep.
I drafted when we drafted Keon Coleman, I ordered
Mhm.
his jersey the same night. I
Yeah.
pre-ordered it.
Oh man.
I might pre-order a Deion Walker Buffalo Bills jersey right now. I want Deion Walker on this team.
Yes.
Okay,
Oh
I
man.
will take a Demonte K part. I'll take that. I'll be happy
Mhm.
with that as well.
Yeah.
But man, if you could give Buffalo Deion Walker in this defense, ooh,
Mhm.
I tell you what, Brian, I would trade a first a second and Ed Oliver to move up and get Deion Walker, I
Ooh.
would do it. I would do it and I
Wow.
wouldn't hesitate. I would not hesitate.
Not hesitate. Oh,
Wouldn't
wow.
hesitate.
Oh, man. Now, listen, you think
Wouldn't
of Chris
hesitate.
Jones? Chris Jones level talent with Deion Walker?
He's like that, man. I think
Yeah.
he's going to be. I think he's going to be on that level, barring major injuries. He's going to be on that level. He's a beast, bro.
Student wants to get you a Chris Hogan Mamba jersey.
Yes, I would wear that.
Yes,
If
me
it meant
too.
we got Deion Walker, oh, bro. If we got Deion Walker, I would run out on the Bills practice field with a thong on, okay? With like a Speedo, like a Speedo. What? Yeah, I don't care. You telling me I got Deion Walker on this team for 10 years? Where's the Speedo? Let's go. Let's go. I don't care.
Oh man, that's incredible.
I don't care what people think
Yep.
because when we're fighting when we're winning Super Bowls because that demon is in the middle of our defense wreaking havoc in the playoffs. I'm not gonna care what you think. I'm
Yep.
drunk at a parade. I don't care. I don't care.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we'll see what the rumor mill
Yeah.
brings, right? We'll see what the next couple weeks brings. So that may be an indicator. We may look at this receiving core a little differently in a couple weeks. It's only been a 4-week
Yeah,
sample size, so
this is what I'm not gonna what I'm not gonna do is hold Adam space, watch spaces, Devontae
yeah.
after dark. I'm not doing that. I'm not getting my hopes up.
No,
And then at
we
the
did
same
that.
time, we did
Yeah.
that before with DeAndre Hopkins.
Hopkins,
Um,
yep.
and at the same time, the other thing is, y'all not letting Brady off the hook, man. Not. These are the guys that you selected. These are the guys you said you can get it done with. Get it
Mhm.
done.
Yeah.
If you're a good offensive coordinator, get it done. That's it.
One last question. A little concerned about Curtis Samuel and only 8 receptions, or do you think that's part of maybe because of his injury and some other factors? Just
I'm
want to see
concerned.
more. Yeah.
I'm concerned. Yeah, I'm concerned because I feel like y'all paid him, y'all brought him in here to play, and y'all not using him. Like, I mean, you brought him in here with the knowledge that he was basically a slot
Mm-hmm.
when you already had a slot. So,
Yep. Yep.
what were you thinking? You know, um,
100%. But
I'd
listen.
like to see Curtis Samuel on the outside, like put him on the boundary. He's fast,
Mhm.
right? Let's see him
Yeah.
use his speed.
Absolutely.
Let's see him use his speed.
I
So
agree. Well, we'll
that's
see
what
what
I
it
got, man.
brings, and that's all I had as well. So again, want to give a shout out to Do Champions. Please give Do Champions a follow on X or other social media platforms, and give our Coast to Coast podcast a follow as well. We greatly appreciate you. We appreciate everybody in the group chat. It was a very lively chat tonight. Excellent stuff. We even had a Jets troll, so I guess it's just standard order business for our Wednesday evenings. Well,
Yeah, but before we go anywhere, like you're not getting away that easy. I gave my score. Oh, you gave yours. Never mind.
I
Okay,
did,
you
yeah,
gave yours 20.
yes.
Yeah, 20. 27, 23. Okay, all right,
Yeah,
all right,
when it's the
all right.
standard,
All
it's not, it's nothing too crazy, but I would go much higher if I have some concerns about our injuries, but I'm looking for just one of those gut check W's. Doesn't have to be pretty. Find a way, see how this team responds after a bad game. So that's what I'm
Yeah,
looking for more than anything.
I would be more worried about this. I am worried about the Dion injury because hamstrings can end up being Achilles or not Achilles, but they can end up being something else. They can end up being a
They
different
could
injury
linger
that
all
you
season
know.
too. Yep.
Yeah.
They could linger on.
So I'm worried. I mean, Austin Johnson leaving. Like, I'm not saying I'm cool with it, but we brought in a defensive tackle, Zion
Luge. I
Luge
think it's
from
is that is that yeah, I
Zion
wanted to
Luge
ask you
from
about him
Georgia.
because he was a sixth rounder, right? Sixth round pick this year.
Yeah, yeah. That's about
And he
where I had him as well. Sixth
hmm
round. Uh, I don't know if you saw the video of that guy, but he's 6'5", about probably 320, 325 at this point,
hmm
and he's not fat. So,
mm,
you know,
yeah.
big dude. I like him.
That's
I liked him coming out of the draft. I don't think he's I think he's just a depth guy. Like, he's a guy that's going to come off the ball and eat double teams. So yeah.
By the way, student, yes, I am rocking the black goat head of the Buffalo Sabres to answer your question. So since hockey is starting Friday, shameless plug, look for a Sabres podcast in the near future on Do Champions.
Okay. All right.
We'll be doing that. So
Sounds like a plan.
Friday, yeah, Saturday morning hockey in Prague, Czech Republic this weekend, Little. So do a little
Oh wow.
international series. So wake up nice and
Okay.
early. So should be great. It's a great time of year. You got baseball rocking. Our Yankees are in the playoffs, and got that going on. You got college football. You got hockey even starting. Basketball's getting close. Knicks are coming for you now with our latest trade. Joking.
Are you?
And hey, I had to get it in, Whittle. I had to
Yeah.
get it in.
Well, from let me give you a message from the Celtic fans. Not worried.
Not worried. Oh, okay.
They call him Cat for a reason. You know what the other name they give cats, right?
Oh,
So yeah.
yes.
So
Yeah, I
yeah.
do. He's a Jersey guy. He's a
He's
Jersey
soft,
guy.
man. I know he's a
Mhm.
Jersey guy, but he's soft. He's soft.
Yeah.
So you know,
Yeah, we'll save that for
I'm
later in the year. So we're getting closer.
we'll
Mhm.
get into that.
Yep. Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
all I had for this week. And
All right.
next week we have the Jets on Monday night, a scene that we took in person last year. So we'll revisit that next week. We'll see
I will
what
be
that
there.
show brings. And yes, all right, we gotta get a W Whittle in person, man. We gotta get you on the winning side of
I'm
things.
0-3. I'm 0-3, man. I'm 0-3. It's
All right,
not good.
we
I'm
got to change
0
that
3
now.
on I'm 0-3 on the road. I'm
Mhm.
only 0-3 on the road. I'm perfect at home. I'm 2-0 at home.
All right, yeah, we gotta get some road W's.
I need a road win, man.
Hmm.
Um,
Absolutely. Well,
I had one more thing. Yo, so listen, this game, we're gonna shut it down after this, but
no,
this
sir.
game is extremely important for the Buffalo Bills. This Texans game is. Number one, it's a good team, right? You want to be able to beat good teams. Number two, we win this game and go to 4-1. We get the Jets on. Is it a short week? No, it's not a
Well,
short week. But
okay,
they are flying back from. They're
Ingles,
flying
think of
back
it this way:
from England.
it's almost like they're playing on Sunday Night Football. If I could give you better, it's almost like they are because they got to
Right.
come all the way back. So it's sort of a normal week, but it's the jet lag. It's the being in another country lag. Hopefully, maybe Sean McDermott can send the itinerary that they used last year for the
Oh
Jacksonville
God.
game. Did I
I
go?
hope
Yes.
he burned it. He should have burned
No.
it. But
Send
no,
it to the Jets. Maybe they'll use it.
yeah. Um, they're coming back. We win that game. We go to 5-1 in the first six. The Jets will have a division loss and two conference losses.
Yep.
They have two conference losses and a loss in the division. So that pretty much will secure the sweep of the division as long as we can beat the Patriots twice. Because there's no way Miami's beating us in Buffalo, and neither are the
Yep.
Jets. So
Yep.
We
I
win
do
this
think.
game in Jersey. We're cooking
Yep,
with gas at that point.
I do think the Jets are going to win this week against Minnesota. But if they do lose and we beat them Monday night, we open a three. Can you imagine if we have a 3-game lead on the AFC East mid
Yeah.
October? Wow, that reminds me of the
I
old
don't
days
think
when the.
I don't think they win. I
You don't think so?
I don't think they
No,
win. No, because Minnesota puts like you see what they did to CJ Stroud. They put pressure on you.
that they do. Their defense is
And they
underrated
have a
part of that team.
very good
Mhm.
and they have a very good offensive line. Like that offensive line is cooking. They're
Yep,
playing very well. And they
yep.
got
They're in for
three
a tough game.
legitimate pass catchers at wide receiver, as well as don't they have isn't TJ Hawkinson their
Yeah, I think so. Is he healthy
tight
right
end?
now? Is he? Um, I can't remember if he wasn't he hurt to start the season, but I don't. I gotta look at their depth chart, but
Yeah, let's pull it up.
I haven't really given them too much thought this year, to be truthful.
I'm
Yeah.
glad we don't have to play him.
Oh no, he is. He is not. I think he's hurt right now. Will.
Oh, okay. All right.
So they're doing this without Hawk. That's pretty impressive, right? The fact that they're doing this without
Yeah.
Hawkinson,
I mean they
like you
got
said,
Aaron Jones,
Jefferson
so
and their old guy Trent Sherfield floating on that roster too.
oh he stinks. Aaron yeah, don't even mention him.
And our
Jesus.
friend Harrison Phillips, who we'll give a shout out to. I know
Yes. We love Harry.
Dude's
We
guy.
love
Yes,
Harry
we do. I
Phillips,
like
man.
Harry's one of my favorites. Yeah, absolutely.
Jonathan Grenard's out there as well.
Mm-hmm.
He made himself very comfortable against CJ Stroud. He had 3 sacks on him. So
Mm-hmm. Yep.
in that game. But yeah,
Oh,
that's I
it'll be
like
an interesting
Minnesota in that
game.
game because I think the defense travels and they can run the football. And the Jets have had trouble stopping the run. Aaron
Mm-hmm.
Jones is gonna kill those guys. I think the Vikings win, but we'll see. I'll be watching. I'll be watching. But
Mm-hmm.
what do you think? Last thing before we put the
No,
little
I like it.
banner up with the swirly thing on it. Um, where do you think Devontae ends up?
Hmm. You know what? I think we're getting them.
You think we're getting him?
I'm the more I think about it, Whittle. I'm telling you, I think this Jets stuff. Everybody's talking Jets, right? Oh, he's friends with Aaron Rodgers. That could be coming from the Raiders too. They could be trying to drive up the price. I'm going to go with a crazy upset and say the Bills are going to get Devontae Adams in a couple of weeks. We do not have a bye week for a long time, so it won't happen during a bye week. I know it's wild. I know it's not likely, but I just there's something in my mind thinks no to the Jets, especially if they lose this week. Does Devontae Adams really want to go there with them being 2-3, or is he just after the cash? That it's up to him. Does he want to win? Does he want the glory? Again, we talk about this all the time. Devontae Adams, somebody's got to get in his ear and say, "Listen, you come to Buffalo. You win a Super Bowl in Buffalo. You know those Taco Bell commercials you have, which are awesome. Times it by 10, especially Buffalo. He can do whatever he wants. Like he will be a legend if he brings them a Super Bowl over almost any of the teams that are except the Jets. Well, the Jets would be a legend too, but that's not gonna happen this year. He has a chance to solidify his legacy if he goes to Western New York. How about you, Will? You're not seeing it? You're not feeling it? I see you shake your head.
I think the most logical spot for him to land is Washington.
Oh, that's a good one too. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. Young
Mm-hmm.
quarterback that is on a rookie deal. They don't have to pay him.
Mm-hmm.
Devontae can go there and he has no guaranteed money after this year. He can go
Mm-hmm.
there and say, listen, y'all give me 30 million for a year for the next 2 years. And then
Mm-hmm.
I'm out after that. Young
This is
quarterback,
true.
they're not paying him.
Yeah, they're off to a
So
great
why
start,
not?
and that's a good point too. I didn't think about it, especially with the rookie deal. That
It's a
division
very
is
winnable division. The
yep,
conference is wide open. I mean, Detroit looks like the class of the division. I mean, of the conference, but
yeah,
yeah, yeah. I don't know.
yeah.
I
That's a
mean,
good one too.
that's I would say that one. But all right,
Okay.
it's almost 11 now at this point.
Especially
So
for you, yeah. For us West Coasters, we still got time. So, all right, Whittle, great as always.
mowing that thing. Yes, sir.
And we'll see you all next week.
Go Bills. Beat the Texans. Please.
Yes, please. That was a
Can't
good
do
week.
this again, man. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this next week.
No, we
I don't
don't.
want to
And we
do
won't.
another
We
lost
won't.
show, bro.
No, we will not. We will not.
You
Have a good night.
sure?
We won't.
I'm gonna hold you to it, man.
Okay. All right.
All right,
You hold me over
folks.
the fire.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Folks, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Shout out to the family of Do Champions Media. Oh, during the bye week, the last thing, during the bye week, myself and Aramis, the one of the hosts of the all sodium, what is it?
A podium?
The
Post
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 podium,
photo?
post
Yeah, yeah,
podium.
yeah, yeah.
Yes, the
Yes.
post podium podcast. All truth, no sodium takes. That there it is.
I
My
want to
bad,
link
guys.
to that.
I got everything mixed
Yeah.
up. Yeah. No, we're gonna do a live. We're gonna do a live debate. Myself and him. We're gonna debate the bills, and some things in the organization. Most likely, Sean McDermott will be one of them. And would you like to guess who the celebrity referee of that that
Is this
situation is going to be?
somebody I know pretty well?
I can give you a hint.
Yeah.
It's a former Bills player.
Former Bills player? Ooh.
Defensive back.
Aaron
Yeah.
Williams?
Yes. Yes.
Nice. Yes. All right.
Yes.
You let me.
That's going to be fun.
Please send me a link to that. I want to listen to that live. And we
Yeah. I don't know if
will
we're going to
tweet
do
that
it
out to
on
everybody.
Wednesday or I don't know what day we'll do it, but it'll be during the bye week. Yeah, we're gonna
Fantastic.
do that. Yeah.
That sounds great. That sounds great, Will.
Yeah, man.
Look
So
forward to it. That's gonna be that's get your popcorn ready type of podcast right there.
yep. That's
All
gonna be
right.
fun. But yeah, that's it. That's it. We're out of here for real. For real now. It was 10:50. This is one of the longest. Nah, we was late, so I mean
After we
it
said
ain't
it
as
was gonna
bad
be a
as I
quick
thought.
one.
Yeah.
I told you when we lose, we have more to speak about. I'm telling you. We
Too
do.
much. That's
Yep.
next week needs to be a quick episode. So
Yeah.
let's win. Let's get it done.
Let's do it. All right.
All
Well,
right, yeah, we're just a little bit past a minute. I mean, an hour 30. So yeah, 133, 134. All right. Yeah, we're out of here. Thanks everybody. Love y'all. See y'all next week. Go Bills. Beat the
go
Texans.
Bills. Have a good night.